Well, hey folks, here I am, Spilly Chili, the hostess with the mostest, coming to you from Community TV, and boy, have I got some news for you today, folks. But one thing I want to address before I go any further, and this is quite important. You know, I got a lot of fans out there, and some of you are just incredible fans. All of you are incredible fans. But I had a lady come up to me while I was at the donut store, and she's like, Spilly, I really love your show, but you dropped just a few too many F-bombs. And I was like, well, you know, it just goes to show my enthusiasm towards what I'm trying to do. And I'm sorry I have offended anybody with my language. So what I'd like you all to do at home is close your ears like this, and I'm going to get this out of my system, okay? So, fuck, oh, fuck, shit, fuck, shit, fuck. Okay, now you can take your hands out. I'm done with that. So to get on with the real news, you know, we've got this Syria crisis going on. All the people are still protesting. Millions are getting killed and slaughtered by the military. And of course, our wonderful Hillary Clinton has the gall to say, well, you better play nice or we're going to cut your $1.8 billion in funding. And I'm sitting at home going, what the hell? $1.8 billion in funding to Syria so they can buy bombs to blow up their people? Come on. When are we going to stop that crap? I mean, we can't keep giving money to these countries so they go and buy bombs to blow up their citizens. $1.8 billion here in America right now. And I mean, we're talking these deficits. We're in the $1 trillion deficits, and we're still giving money away? Oh, man. Let's go back to that first segment, shall we? Anyway, and here we go. The stock markets are tumbling again because of the Greece malfunctions. And, you know, Greece, when I remember Greece, it was a wonderful thing with Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta, and they're all dancing and having fun. Well, you know what I say to the real Greece? I say, go ahead and screw the Eurozone, screw all those banks, get out of it, and start a revolution. The Eurozone is the first tumbling block that we got to destroy, folks. Oh, my God. And here we go. Well, you know, we're wrapping up the war in Afghanistan. And I have a chance to talk to my great friend over there. You know, we talked to him at the beginning of the war a few years back, and now we're going to have a chance to talk to him again. And let's see what's going on out there with my good friend out there. Well, how are things going out there in Afghanistan, Mr. Chris Baba?
Well, the prosperity for the people is amazingly well right now, and we're the biggest producers of the opium poppy in the world, 70% of the heroin we manufacture for the world. And also this is bigger than in the 1600s during the opium wars when we were partners with the Queen, we're partners again. So prosperity is here in Afghanistan.
Well, that's good to hear, Mr. Baba. Now I hear our government's now negotiating with the Taliban again. You know, the Taliban weren't really great people. They did a lot to damage the Afghan way of life and took it over with the religious ways. How do you feel about the Afghan people, the Taliban people coming back into power, Mr. Baba?
Well, things are wonderful now, and then under the Mujahideen back in the day, and they were wonderful, but when the Taliban came in, they just ruined everything. And thanks to our mercenaries guarding our fields and military supervision, we're just enjoying prosperity.
Well, that's quite something, Mr. Baba. You know, this whole war thing was quite something. You know, and we're going to be pulling out at the end of the year, all of our troops, and leaving you guys to your own. How do you see things working when we pull out?
Well, as long as you keep bringing me the suitcases, things are going to be very fine. This is our boxies.
Well, you know, Mr. Baba, from our end, this whole war was a huge nightmare. You know, we lost thousands and thousands and thousands of our kids and people, or, you know, there's families now that are missing loved ones. We spent billions and billions and billions of dollars trying to ratify the Taliban out of your country. You know, it turns out that most of this stuff was in Pakistan anyway, and we kind of just ruined your country. You know, what do you think about all that?
Well, after 9/11, when they bombed the passes looking for the rebels, they actually cleared the way for the pipeline, the oil pipeline, and we're going to have more and more prosperity, and we will be selling bakshish fees for traveling your oil through our country. It's very good working for the Queen.
God bless the Queen. That's right. God bless the Queen. And I think everything revolves around her about these days. Well, anyway, Mr. Baba, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy farming to spend some time with us out here in California. Take care now. We'll talk to you soon.
Goodbye. Thank you, Chili. Salam alaikum. From the people of Afghanistan.
Well, there you have it, folks. Straight from Afghanistan, Mr. Chris Baba filling us in on how things are going out there. Well, we're getting back here, and one of the big issues right now is being drawn up is contraceptives. That's right, folks, the women's right to choose. And we have our good old president, Mr. Obama, saying that we should have free coverage for contraceptives for all women of America, that they should have free health coverage to take care of any sort of women's issues. But there's a big catch, folks. There's a big catch, and that's the church. That's right. The Catholic Church frowns upon this kind of behavior, and they had to have a huge giant stink. They're making a huge stink over contraceptives. They're making a huge stink over gay marriage, and it ain't going away, folks. These guys are still trying to rule the world with their, what do we call that? 0000 BC, or is that 0000 AD? Or is that whole thing just a scam and we don't even know where we are in the grand clock of things? Well, that's kind of how I feel, is I don't know where the hell I am. Actually, we have a new reporter. That's right, folks. Mrs. Ellie Font coming to you from the Republican Convention. Let's take a quick look at that, can we please? Well, hey there, folks. Here I am, Ellie Font, here at the Republican Convention, and I'm bringing you the first-hand report of what's going on. Well, anyway, as all of you people know out there in America, we have a tight competition this year with the Republican Party. That's right, folks. We have 4 incredible candidates. We have the Mormon. Oh, yes, that's Mitt Romney, folks. He's going to be an incredible leader. If you like Obama, you will like Romney because their plans are exactly the same. No difference, folks. No difference. And then, of course, we have the polygamist, the biggest hypocrite in the world, Mr. Newt Gingrich, folks. That's right, this guy's the biggest loser. Maybe some of you remember a few years back, folks, that he was ousted out of the White House for being a hypocrite and taking money from bad places. Well, he was having an affair with 3 different women. And then he got mad at Bill Clinton for having an affair with just one little Monica Lewinsky. Well, I tell you, folks, that's a hypocritical oath. If you ever taken one, he's got that down. And then, of course, there's our wonderful candidate, the wild man from Texas, Mr. Ron Paul. That's right, this guy's crazy, folks. He's got all the greatest plans, but he'll never win because he's a Republican. And you know why, folks? If this guy ran as an independent, he just might have a chance. But anyway, sorry, Mr. Paul, not this year either. And then, of course, your last chance for Hitler domination of the world, we have Mr. Santorum from Pennsylvania. That's right, all you Quakers out there, you'll love this guy. He's got all the wonderful Mormon beliefs, all the wonderful Christian beliefs, all the wonderful Catholic beliefs, all rolled into one big, giant, happy ball. And that's right, he ain't going to win either, folks. So it's going to come down to this. It's going to be Obama or Romney. We'll see. Anyway, that's it from the Republican Convention. Bye now. All right, then. Well, that was the rundown from the Republican Convention, folks. Our new reporter, thank you, Miss Ella. I appreciate that. And so it looks like it's probably going to boil down to Mr. Romney versus Mr. Obama. And you know what? It doesn't really matter because they're both in the same party. If you look at Mitt Romney's record while he was governor of Massachusetts, he was actually more of a liberal than President Obama is today. And when they sit there and try to criticize each other, well, basically their plans are the same, which goes to back what I've been saying all along. The Democrats are becoming Republicans. And the Republican that's a Democrat, that's a Republican, unless if he turns to be one of those Fourth Reich people we've been talking about, he's just going to be another Democrat. So we have 2 Democrats running against each other on the Republican platform. Who's going to win? Hell if I know. Well, anyway, the last thing I need to talk about right now is the mortgage crisis bailout. For the last 5-6 years, millions and millions of people have lost their homes. The banks got bailed out, but did they help the American people out? Not one bit. And so today, in a landmark decision, they've granted billions and billions of dollars to rescue the mortgage things. Now that doesn't help all you people that have already lost your homes, people that have been paid for 20 years and lost their job and only had a few years left to pay and you lost your home. Well, sorry, it doesn't help you. This plan only helps the rich. That's right, if you've been making your plans and you've been losing money on your house and it's not worth enough, well, we'll give you some extra cash just to ease your stress. Again, it won't help you if you lost your house or you can't afford to pay for your house. This is only for those rich people that already have lots of money, and we're going to make their house all nice and rosy again for them. Isn't that sweet? I thought you'd like that. I know I'm certainly pleased with how that worked out. And you know who's going to pay for that? That's right, the taxpayer dollars. Good old American taxpayers come to the bailout of the rich once again. And for that, I have to salute you for looking out for, number one, the rich people, while the rest of us go down the toilet. And I don't know, boy, I don't know. Well, anyway, we got a lot of good stuff still ahead. We're going to talk to Bobby Ackerley about Santa Cruzing and a new video that he found that's very important that you all need to watch. And then we're going to close the segment with Robert Norris. So stay tuned. Well, hey folks, Billy Chili here, and tonight I've got a great pleasure to have Mr. Bobby Ackerley on the show. Bobby, right on for coming down tonight, being on the show. The reason I asked Bobby here tonight was because he's found some stuff that everybody out there needs to watch. And over the next few weeks, he's going to be showing this stuff. And this is really important. Now, you know, a lot of you people out there that watch my show, watch Bobby's show, Santa Cruzing, but a lot of you don't. And I think for this particular next 5 or 6 episodes, you need to watch. So, Bobby, what's the name of this thing that you got up your sleeves?
Well, it's the best blow your mind video ever, and they changed a few names on it and stuff, but it was like it boils down to the point of power and what's wrong with everything in the world, and it's being manipulated by the Queen of England, the Vatican, and surprisingly the District of Columbia, which is the crown, the cross, and the sword, and that's how they rule us, with monarchy and religion and weapons and stuff. So everybody on my show, I've been researching this stuff, and like Sandra knows, and then so I put all these videos up and showing this proof on all this stuff inconclusively, and so that's Santa Cruz, and it's on Saturday nights at 9 o'clock on Channel 27. It's a series, and they show it a couple other times, and you might want to watch this because it kind of dialed everything in for me. 5 years ago, I found out about the Federal Reserve Bank, and then it started falling in. But this video just lined it up, unbelievable. Everybody needs to see it. It's like Jesus Christ was Julius Caesar's kid and Cleopatra, and it's proven inconclusively. It's more than that, but anyway.
Yeah, this show, from what I got, just a little glimpse of it, and what it basically does is it goes way back and takes on some of the Bible issues and dispels some of the myths and proves some of the facts, you know, that there's some of the stuff is indeed true, but not all of it. And a lot of it was changed just to be able to manipulate the people around it. And it's so funny that over the years you wonder, you know, what's the big picture? Why are these guys doing this to us? And why does it keep happening over and over and over again? And this show actually gets down to the truth. Now, who did you say did this? It was somebody who's did a lot of research, but was in on, what was the deal with the person that did that?
The actual person was a daughter of the Illuminati, this bloodline from Rome and Egypt and everybody. And she, all through her life, she had seen the G, like that's on the Masonic ring, or the Illuminati, and the G that's in a lot of your symbolism for the snake, and she wondered what all this was and the secrecy. So through the years, I guess they had a lot of conflict, and she exposed them. So this is somebody exposing these people beyond a question of doubt, proven inconclusively by scholars and theologians and et cetera in the timelines. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
Well, we've got a little clip of this, and we're going to just show a little bit, and then we'll talk about how you can catch more of it. So, Dave, if you could could you show that clip for us, please?
Did the world wars, revolutions, and big events of human history evolve naturally, or were they calculated and pre-planned? If they were pre-planned, who planned them, and what are they planning for the future of humanity? The answer to this puzzling question can be found within the boundaries of 3 of the world's most powerful cities. Those 3 cities belong to no nation and pay no taxes. They are Washington's District of Columbia, which is not part of the city of Washington or of the United States, the inner city of London, which is not part of London or England, and Vatican City, which is not part of Rome or Italy. These cities, called city-states, have their own independent flag, their own separate laws, and their own separate identity.
So yeah, that's like a 5-hour long production, and it goes way back to before Christ, through the pharaohs and the Amen. It all goes way back to the great Pharaoh Amen. And that they went ahead, and he was a pretty brutal dictator, and they talk about his life and his kids and how it gets to Jesus and through his lifetime, and then it goes on to the modern day stuff. And Bobby, how are you going to show this to people? How's that going to break down on your show? Because 5 hours, you only have an hour-long show. How are you going to get that out?
Well, I've been thinking of running an hour show, just running it for an hour, and that's 5 shows and stuff because of the incredible information. But then again, I'm thinking, well, maybe that's a lot of time. I might run it, for like 30, 40 minutes on my show and talk about it, and then give people time to assimilate it and stuff, because I've been watching it for 2 weeks now, and every time I watch it, I'm finding something new.
All right, well, thanks, Bobby.
Hey.
So that's Santa Cruz in Saturday nights at 9 o'clock, and it's going to probably start in the next couple of weeks, and it'll run for a while. You'll want to catch all the episodes to get the whole thing. But if not, go onto YouTube and check this thing out. It's really incredible. How did they find it on YouTube? Do you know the name real quick?
The easiest way I found it was Vatican Rules the World, and then you'll find so much information on YouTube there. Just Vatican Rules the World, man, and it's actually the Queen of England rules the Vatican and the District of Columbia.
Wild.
Hail to the Queen!
And this is serious stuff, folks. I mean, I saw part of it, and I was just in awe. It's like, well, there it is, right there. How about that? So I think you'll feel the same way. Anyway, let's get on with the show. We got closing thoughts with Robert Norris.
Hi, my name is Robert Norris, and you may remember me. I do a kind of a periodic commentary, and my thanks to the host for allowing this to go out on the air. Hopefully he won't be arrested, because that seems to be what's happening these days in Santa Cruz for journalists and reporters who cover unpopular events close up. I've been raising questions in the past few interviews about, homeless issues around civil rights and issues that impact the community generally. And I sometimes put it rather baldly. I asked, perhaps implicitly, I asked who will arrest and prosecute Chief Kevin Vogel, he's the chief of our police department, for the destruction of homeless property in December. And I was waiting for an answer for that one. And I also asked who will prosecute, or I should say fire, Susan Mariello, the chief administrative officer of the county, for making it illegal to read the Constitution on the steps of the courthouse after 7 p.m. at night. And I think I also raised the question, or perhaps I should have raised the question, who will hold Mayor Don Lane of Santa Cruz accountable for the fair words he speaks about the homeless? And they were fair words in his acceptance speech in December. Some of you may remember them. But yet is silent about the destruction of homeless property in the Pogonip that's going on a weekly, if not a daily basis, and along the levee here, the river, or the San Lorenzo River. He seems to also be silent about the refusal of the Homeless Services Center, I call them the Lack of Services Center, to give protective documentation and honest information about what's really going on out there. City Council also seems to remain a place under Don Lane, who presides over the City Council, as a place where only the privileged few can speak, and for a very limited period of time, carrying on a rather shameful tradition pioneered by Ryan Coonerty and Mike Rotkin. Who, I asked, is going to hold these city and county officials and bigwigs, our local 1%, accountable? My answer has always been, of course, that we must, because they, the authorities, won't. But what is their answer? Well, I got my answer on Wednesday in the form of an indictment for 2 misdemeanors and 2 felonies. First time I've ever been accused of committing a felony. I've never been convicted of committing a misdemeanor. So it kind of set me back. I was shocked. I was frightened. I went down to the courthouse. I signed up for my court appearance, which will be coming up later in February. And I guess the answer that we're getting from the District Attorney Bob Lee is that what their response is to arrest and indict those who are exposing these politicians and these leaders. The journalists are the ones who are going to get the shaft. The activists who photograph police surveilling the community and doing things like double parking their cars to give out nuisance citations, or those who document the police blocking a lane of traffic to harass a homeless person for sitting near a building, or perhaps lying in wait to give out multiple citations for bikes going the wrong way on Pacific Avenue. Those who document the excessive expenditure and excessive force of the police against peaceful protesters, the peaceful protesters of Occupy Santa Cruz, the protesters who stand up against and demand that the law be enforced around smart meters, which isn't being enforced. I've been indicted for 2 felonies and 2 misdemeanors. That's serious stuff. I can go to state prison for that. Not just me, but 11 other people. I should say 10 other people, with promises of actually more to come. Why? Well, perhaps you remember the hubbub back in last November. Police formed riot squads to confront community members and activists for covering the independent action, well, some of us covered it and some were involved in doing it, of a peaceful 3-day occupation of a 3.5-year vacant bank property, the property across from Wells Fargo Bank, as I understand it, owned and leased out by Wells Fargo. This is the property that activists hope to turn into a community center. This, as I said before, was, we understand, owned by Wells Fargo Bank. And Wells Fargo, I understand, is one of the worst banks. Actually, the city of Berkeley is currently trying to disinvest or discussing disinvesting. The Berkeley City Council is discussing this, or has been for the last few weeks. Anyway, the occupiers back in November that were there left peacefully. But it looks like the Police Chief Kevin Vogel, got egg on his face for not immediately rushing in with the riot squad, or say rather, he rushed in with the riot squad, and that looked like it might provoke a riot. So he backed off, and I think that was a wise decision by Kevin Vogel. However, and indeed, the people who were occupying that building they hope to make into a community center left. However, several days later, Santa Cruz County deputies attacked and destroyed the structures at Occupy Santa Cruz in front of the courthouse. And a few days after that, on December 8th, Kevin Vogel's cops destroyed homeless property, homeless tents, compacted homeless survival gear, turned 100 to 200 people into refugees in Santa Cruz. This is particularly important to me because, as those of you know who follow these issues, our community has emergency shelter for less than 5% of its homeless population. And Occupy Santa Cruz, the group that was peacefully protesting and raising issues and raising the community spirits and the community information, I think, on these issues, and trying to hold local community leaders accountable too, had been providing for 2 months for twice the number of people that the Homeless Lack of Services Center under Monica Martinez was providing for. They were feeding people, they were housing people, they were providing community, but that was not enough for city and county authorities. It wasn't even enough to destroy this campground. It wasn't even enough to establish a curfew at night at the county building for the first time in Santa Cruz history, as far as I know. And that curfew is still on tonight, as far as I know. Thanks. I'm Robert Norris. Get in touch with HUF, Homeless United for Friendship and Freedom, if you'd like to help out in any of these issues, whether you wanted to help with the defendants or you want to help with civil rights for homeless people. That's what I try to do.
Hear ye, O citizens of the realm. That's right, it's me, King Spilly, coming to you live because I am running for president. That's right, I've got that Super PAC committee. Well, that's actually Closet Capers over on Sotel. who are getting me all these wonderful outfits and all this money to run for president. And as you know, you don't got shit for choices, and that's why I got the plunger today, folks, because we're gonna get rid of all that crap in the toilet up in Washington, D.C., folks. And there's a lot of crap up there, if you know what I'm talking about. And I've got an agenda that's lunch at around noontime and dinner at about 5:30. And I'm gonna be looking out for the people because nobody else is gonna look out for you. And if you're happy, I'm happy. What else could you ask for, huh? Well, plunge the shit, clean the sinks, wash the dishes, and put 2 cans of chili in your cupboard. What else do you want from a president? And so, folks, this is serious. Vote for me, King Spilly, in 2012, or you can deal with the same old crap that you've been dealing with for the last couple years. You can kiss the ring now. Well, folks, that brings us to an end of another exciting episode of Issues, and I sure hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back again next week or next month with all kinds of new stuff and great things for you to enjoy. And just got to thank the crew, got to thank Community TV, and got to thank you, the people that watch this crazy show. Good night, everybody.
Mountain Mike's Pizza, where the freshest ingredients and delicious toppings equal great pizza. With a full salad bar, a buffet table, and a fun, family-friendly atmosphere. We got game rooms for the kids, 3 big screen TVs. Mountain Mike's Pizza, located at 3715 Portola Drive.